Welcome to the Tippecanoe School Corporation's Phishing Training, where we will be covering the topic of phishing, what it is, and how you should respond to ensure our data here at TSC remains safe. After you complete this training, you will be able to identify and describe what phishing is, know the difference between phishing and spam and how to treat them differently, explain the dangers of phishing attacks, what you can do to minimize your risk of being phished, and finally, we'll review some real-world phishing messages to help you identify them in the future. So what is phishing? Phishing is a fraudulent message which tries to get you to respond in a way that would compromise your information. These messages may come in different forms, such as an email or text message, but can also occur via phone or social media. Some examples include fake tech department warning messages, which try to trick you into believing something is wrong with your system or account, which requires you to take immediate action to fix the problem. An urgent message appearing to be from a supervisor or someone in authority asking you to respond. Offers of products or services which trick you into installing malware which will compromise your system and accounts. In all of these cases, an attacker is trying to get you to respond in a way which will allow them to gain access to your information. So you might be wondering, what happens if I responded to a phishing attempt? Most commonly, we have seen accounts be used for sending spam or additional phishing messages. When this happens, the corporation's email reputation is hurt, and our ability to communicate with those outside our community is diminished. They could access your personal information that is stored inside of our systems. This information could be used to try to change your direct deposit information or be used for other identity theft. Finally, the data of others could be compromised by being accessed or destroyed through your account. The most common cause of ransomware incidents is through accounts that were compromised via phishing. Now that we know the dangers, let's review what to look for to spot phishing attempts. Phishing can take different forms, and we will cover those in this training, but we also need to distinguish between phishing messages and just general spam. Spam is essentially unwanted marketing email. There is little to no risk with these messages, and in most cases should just be deleted without being reported. Phishing, on the other hand, is a message that is intended to try to trick you into giving up information which would compromise your account, your privacy, or the data of others that you may be able to access. There is also a subcategory of phishing known as spear phishing that specifically targets an individual. These messages will often use personalization in the message and be highly customized to appear legitimate. These may only be sent to a few individuals in an organization to avoid detection. The message may also contain very personal information, such as your password or social security number that was acquired via another data breach to convince you the message is real. Another example is receiving a personalized email that seems to be from a coworker or manager, but is actually from a fake account. No matter the type of phishing, they all carry some risks, which we'll review next. Here are some of the most common ways to spot phishing messages. Always check the sender and specifically the address, not just the display name. While the email can be spoofed, it is often just left as the original sender and only the display name is updated. Spelling and grammar. Phishing has been getting better, but there are still many messages that are obviously not legitimate based on the message and how it is written. Links. Before clicking any links, check where you will be directed. Even visiting a site can be enough to compromise your system. Urgency and emotions. The sender may use scare tactics to create a sense of emergency. Their aim is to prompt you to act before you critically assess the request. Account credentials. Never give your username or password to anyone. If a member of the technology department needs to access your account to troubleshoot, we will either remote into your computer or reset your password. Next, we'll go over some specific examples of what to look for in a phishing message. Take a moment to look at this actual phishing message. Would you be able to tell, especially if you were in a hurry? Look closely at the email address. Notice the display name is correct, but the email address isn't. The email came from outside the corporation using a free Gmail account. Also, notice that this phisher is looking to communicate through another medium to avoid detection. Here we have a message that tries to get you to visit a phishing site to restore access to your account. While the text simply says "Access file now," you can view where the link will go by hovering over it. Always verify a link before clicking on it to make sure it is a legitimate site. Never enter your username or password on an unknown site. Make sure the site looks right and not something new or different. Make sure to check the URL as well as be careful of lookalike domains. In the example on the left, it appears to be a Google sign-in page, however the URL is not a Google address. In the example on the right, while it may look like the actual Facebook login page, the URL tells a different story. Phishing sites like this are much harder to spot and require you to be vigilant to spot them. When you receive a phishing message that looks to be from your supervisor or someone in authority, try to verify the request with them via another communication method. Don't reply to the original email message or text. In the example below, you can see they are again using a Gmail address, but tried to make it look real. They have used someone in authority to intimidate you into taking action. Here at TSC, we are doing several things to help protect the corporation from phishing, including email filtering for spam and phishing messages. Accounts are monitored for suspicious behavior that may indicate a compromise. When phishing messages are received and reported, recipients are alerted to the danger. We conduct self-phishing tests to make you aware of the dangers and techniques. We also have reporting options for those who receive phishing messages. Let's review how to minimize our risk to phishing. Always check a link before visiting. If something looks suspicious in an email, contact the individual using another means. Call them via phone or send them a text using your personal contacts. Don't reply to the message. Before entering your username or password into a site, make sure the address is legitimate. Look closely as lookalike domain names are sometimes used. Login pages may be copied to look exactly like the corporation site, so you can't go on looks alone. If you are unsure about a message, ask for help or report it. Reporting helps to protect the community at large, as you may not be the only person to receive the message. If you are unsure, there's a good chance that others may be as well, and it only takes one account compromised to affect everyone. Thank you for your time today and your efforts to help keep TSC safe.